Today's question comes from Ryan in Ottawa. He visits DaveRamsey.com to ask, Hi, Dave. Currently, I am on baby step number 7 and truly enjoy blessing people in need. I was recently asked by a friend to reimburse his daughter who paid his medical bill for his recent stay in a hospital in Canada. Normally, I would say no problem, but honestly, I'm a little put off that he is asking me to pay back his daughter. Also, he confided in me about 2 years ago that he had about $100,000 in the bank, but that was for his kid's inheritance. I do want to help here, but something feels off about it.
It's because something's off about
Something
it.
is super off about it.
That's the reason it feels that way.
Yeah. You know, Dave, this brings me to a broader question about giving. Because when I hear this question, my first thought is, my first thing I want to say to Ryan is, who cares what the guy's got in the bank? If you want to give and help this person out, then give and help them out. The other side of that is, what responsibility does a giver have to chasing down all the little avenues of how you're going to use the money and what's going to be for, and do you actually need it? That just seems like an extra burden that a giver is going to carry. But I also know there's a responsibility with where your money goes, right? To be a person of good stewardship means to keep the end in mind too.
Yeah, you got to be helpful.
Right.
And sometimes you're not being helpful.
Okay.
What's described there in my mind is dysfunction.
Yeah.
Why does a guy with $100,000 in the bank allow his daughter, his own child, to pay his medical bill?
Yeah, something's not right here.
That's off. That's weird.
Ryan, a guy that walks around and says, I love blessing people. And then someone says, well, cool, you want to pay back my daughter? Right? And
yeah. Well, I do love blessing people, but that's not a blessing, because what you're doing there, you're not blessing someone, you're participating in their dysfunction. That's like giving a drunk a drink.
Okay.
You're not going to do that. So, I used to, at the end of the year, I love blessing people too. Most spenders, and I'm a natural spender, it's easy for us to be generous. Mm-hmm. Most savers work at the generous muscle most of the time. It's not always true, but as a generality. And so I've really always, it's easy for me to tip or over tip or give or just random acts of money kind of thing. I enjoy that. Mm-hmm. And what happened was I allocated a percentage of my income in addition to my tithe. Mm-hmm. I tithed to my local church, but in addition to that, Sharon and I allocated a percentage of our income to give additionally, and to various things, whatever we wanted to give to, whatever God led us to give to. As Christians, we felt like we were, called to be outrageously generous. Right. And it's good for our soul. It's good for our health. It's good for everything. Right. And so we would just pile up the money, and this percentage, I just put it over in a little account. That percentage, every time I got money, that percentage went over in that account. We had this giving account, and there's a pile of money over there. Yeah. You get to the end of the year, and you got to get rid of it, because if you don't dump it into a charity, you're going to pay taxes on it.
Gotcha.
And in my mind, that money's already gone, even though it's sitting in this separate account. And so then I would just get in a hurry and find stuff to give it to at the end of the year. And I'd say, okay, that ministry, I'm going to send them some money. That thing, I'm going to send that person some money. I'm going to do that. And I would just, and I was with a bunch of wealthy guys that were believers. And one of the guys said, you're very diligent with your investing, and you are really sloppy with your giving.
Ooh.
He goes, both of them are God's money that you're managing. So why don't you invest God's money into things that you're going to give lift to? God wants to see a return on his investment too. And generosity is a God thing, right? So the generosity ought to cause lift. And if somebody's mismanaging their life or they're mismanaging their ministry, and you pour into it, all you've done is participate in their mismanagement. And it really convicted me. And so we got we allocate a percentage for just random, and we don't tie strings to it, but we don't give substantial sums to something that we haven't checked out, because we feel like it's investing on a kingdom level.
That comes further down the funnel there to this idea of intentionality.
Yeah.
And for a spender, I'm the same way. I like writing big tips. It makes me feel good, and helping people. I like that.
Especially right now, the servers haven't been working. They're trying to get back on their feet.
Just watching somebody light up like a light bulb makes me light up right. That's good. But I do it unintentionally. And that's a couple of $100. But you start talking about several $1,000s or $10,000 or $100,000 or something. You need to be wise with that, because you are making an investment in kingdom stuff. I love it.
And God's Spirit needs to lead you in that. You need to be compassionate and kind, but you can do damage to an organization that has substantial weaknesses when you dump a substantial amount of money on them.
Do you not give to an organization because you think they're already doing well enough?
No.
Okay.
We won't do that. We won't give to an organization, in the case of the Ramsey Family Foundation, if they're in debt.
Okay.
Or they're going to continue to stay in debt, or they're going to continue to use debt as part of their operation. Because we don't do that personally, and so it's inconsistent to our value system.
You bet.
As an example. And we look for competence in the leadership team.
As you should, yeah. So to come back to Ryan here,
this is an incompetent, toxic situation. I wouldn't fund it.
That's right. But just because someone has done well and in other parts of their life, that doesn't necessarily disqualify them from ever receiving support from me.
No, I would help them.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand why they need help.
Why? There you go.
That's what's throwing me off here. It gives you a head tilt. And he even says it. He says, it feels weird. The reason it feels weird is because it's weird.
Walk away.
That's right. Yeah. And it's not an indication that you're greedy or you're not generous. It's you don't want to support misbehavior and cause more of it.